Hi, my name is Valerie, and today I'll be doing a direct commentary for my first creative reflection, which will touch on how do your products use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social group issues. Alright, so the first half of the video, we get an instant sound of a school bell instantly to establish the setting of a high school, to evoke a relatable um, scene towards young viewers having to constantly hear that sound and to bringing comfort in the atmosphere. So then we start to get a nice transition of a high angle shots of each accessory, um, creating a nice complement of the stereotypes with predators being this feline, self-aware, feminine characters, um, while the elites are very nerdy, having their books and assignments to promote intelligence and organization, whereas the flocks have these really good drawings with utensils, colored pencils to evoke that stereotype of shyness but creative inside. In the second half, we had this before piano, very calm music to set the tone of enjoyment from each social group since they are enjoying their stereotype hobbies, their comfort zones, and an enjoyment as there was a decrescendo in the the soft music and instead a crescendo entrance of the tense heavy music. This starts to signal viewers that there is danger between the social groups, whereas the social group is starting to argue to evoke a symbolism of competition between students within school environments. Why put the title as my ending of my opening film? Well, this is to touch on the overall idea of my interpretive issue on my opening film. I did not show the clown until the very end, since once the clown entered, there was a drastic contrast between the social group wild animals and the clown. So let me show you a little bit. So as you can see, all these characters have something in common, which would be the wild animal structure. Whereas the clown has a paint of, well, a clown, which this starts to create a further contrast between the characters, as well as the color white versus black, which is a common symbol of two different symbolism. A complete social groups follow their stereotypes to have comfort within their zone, whereas the clown is serious when rather it should be a happy-go-lucky clown. However, this completely challenges it, which connects back to the overall theme of what I'm trying to approach, which would be the constant peer pressure and isolation and students have to go with, depending on the student, of course. Majority of students constantly struggle with peer pressure, which would instead follow their stereotypes, such as being nerds, or possibly being shy but creative, or possibly being feminine but are constantly. Whereas the clown does not do that, which all the social groups agree that the standout student is a target because they are not following their stereotype rules. So this is the overall topic I wanted to discuss, and how these conventions challenge and follow the idea, and how this represents the issue, which would be the issue of peer pressure as well as isolation, which we are often facing up to date.